Hi, my fellow subscriber. Would you like to know one of the easiest ways to immediately improve your win rate by simply fixing your non-showdown winnings, also known as your red line? You might have heard that in poker we differentiate between showdown and non-showdown winnings. Showdown winnings are your combined winnings and losses whenever you see a showdown. Your non-showdown winnings are the combined winnings and losses whenever you do not see a showdown. For example, when you 3-bet preflop to 10 big blinds and then check fold the flop, your red line just took a loss of minus 10 big blinds. If you, however, successfully triple barrel bluffed your opponent and he now folded the river after calling you pre on the flop and on the turn, now your red line will show a huge profit. And that does feel great, does it? Almost 100% of my students had red lines like this when they first contacted me. Does this look familiar? And without being a visionary, I guess your personal red line does look almost exactly like this too. Is this a problem? Should you be concerned? Does this hinder you from moving up? I hear your questions and I will answer them all in this video. For once, just imagine how much money you will make when your red line comes from a heavyweight loser to close to zero, without affecting your blue, your showdown line, too much. Keep watching and you will discover the solution to your problem, and your red line will eventually look like this. Solution for improving your red line number 1. Fixing your blind play. It is a simple truth. You make all your money in no limit hold'em from under the gun, middle position, the cutoff, and of course from the golden button. You lose money from the blinds and I lose money from the blinds. There is absolutely nothing we can do about this fact. But there is a way you can lose less, which means your red line will improve. Why is this and what can we do about it? Wanna hear it? Imagine you play NL 100. Every time you sit in the small or big blind, you lose 50 cents or $1. You are forced to. These are the rules of no limit hold'em. The only way you don't lose your forced bet is to defend when someone opens the pot in front of you. So let's say the button opens and you are in the big blind looking down at Jack 3 offsuit. You fold and lose $1. No big pain. You could theoretically 3-bet or defend by calling, but as you know, this is a bad idea. After all, what happens if you defend with Jack 3 offsuit? You call, and most of the time you have to check fold the flop because you didn't hit it. There are some moves you can make post-flop though, which I will show you in just a minute. For the moment though, you should realize that you would lose 3 big blinds by calling and check folding the flop. But you only lose 1 big blind by folding pre-flop. That's 200% less. Plus, folding is way less stressful than either 3-betting or calling. Isn't that a better decision then? It is. I fold the small blind and big blind approximately 85% of the time, so should you. That means from 100 hands in the blinds, I lose over $60 by making the correct play, pre-flop, which is folding. The remaining 15% of the time will not compensate for this loss. So whatever I do, I will lose from the blinds. It hurts, but accepting it is your first step towards improving your red line, which should be the goal, right? The important thing for you is to understand though, that by folding you make a much smaller mistake than by calling and then not having a great master plan for post-flop when you miss. I will show you some cool moves in just a second. Example. If you hold Queen Jack suited in the big blind and the button opens, if your plan is to smooth call and feel villain out post-flop, you probably end up losing money because you will hit the flop only 1 out of 3 times. And no one except the world's greatest can compensate for missing 2 out of 3 times, being out of position and not having the lead also. So rather than losing 3 big blinds by calling, maybe it's on average only 2.5, because as I said, sometimes you do hit, but then again, even then it's tough out of position. So instead of losing 2.5 big blinds by calling, rather lose 1 big blind by folding. It does seem weak, but who cares? You want to make money, so don't do the moves who seem to be cool. You should rather make the moves which are making you money, or in this case, which makes you lose less. You should see it that way. Losing less is like making money in poker, right? So lesson number 1, fold more in the blinds. Lesson 2 is, there are 3 great weapons you can use in poker.